reviews on the Defender SN300 Sentinel series. It's a do-it-yourself security system that includes 4 day-night cameras, the ability to hook into your router so you can view anywhere, and weatherproof cameras, and again a DVR that will record up to 2 years. So we're going to go through some of the setup issues and see if this is maybe the right security system for you. Right pulling it out of the box, you'll see that the Defender SN300, it's actually very well organized. You've got your cameras nicely partitioned here and your cabling. So again, right from the get-go, you don't have wires tangled up and everything's boxed up in an organized manner. So it might not sound like much, but it can come in handy. So I'm not connected to the unit yet, but I know I'm going to do a video review, so I'm going to capture this too. You've got your RCA cable for going into your TV set. You've got a USB cable here for your computer, and you've got an Ethernet cable. So you have all of your cabling here, and so that it really is a self-contained unit. There's nothing else you're going to need outside of the cabling that they supply. I've reviewed some other units, and I know that's not always the case. So here you have everything you need right out of the box. Using a video capture card, you can see what the SN300 looks like. This is camera 1 outside. Switching here to camera 2, which is actually used up in our nursery. Again, in full daylight, so you can see what it looks like. This would be a room in our home, and then again, this would be a different area of our outside. You can see some of the bushes. You also have the ability to display all 4 cameras at one time, which you can see here. You can navigate through, and it allows you again to see all 4. Moving into the menus, you can set the cameras up, and it gives you quite a bit of power. For instance, you can change the frame rate if you need a little bit more frames per second. Of course, this will use up a little bit more memory than otherwise. You can also go and change the video quality. So again, you can get a higher quality, but using more of your memory space. You can schedule to record at different times. As you can see here, this is the pretty basic setup. It's not that difficult to use. The remote is a little bit unresponsive, I found. Nothing too bad, but it did take a little bit of getting used to. Here you can see the amount of memory that's in the drive, and so you do have quite a bit of flexibility on how this sets up. One thing that I really like about the SN300 is it does have good sharp image quality, whether it's inside or out. You do have the night vision camera going, but you can see that in the outside cameras, you can see bugs flying around. So it shows how sharp the images are. The DVR, you have your 4 channels right here, RCA plugs going into a connector, and then you have your RCA input to your TV. One of the things to notice is that these just slide in, so they're actually somewhat loose. You can hear that the alarm's going off because one of the cameras was disabled, so it'll let you know if there's any kind of disarming of the camera system itself, so that's a good thing. The setup's actually really easy. You plug in the camera into the power and into an RCA plug, and then you just run the wire to your setup, and then you mount the camera, kind of the standard camera mount. It comes with all the equipment that you would need to mount the cameras, so that's pretty handy. On the Defender SN300 Sentinel. A couple things to take note of. One is that you can hook this to your network for remote viewing. I looked through the instructions. It doesn't look too complex. However, one thing you have to keep in mind is that this system is a PC system only. So if you're running a Mac, you're not going to have that availability. So keep that in mind if you're looking to do remote viewing, or if you're going to use the software that comes with it, because it does look rather powerful, and again, it doesn't look that difficult to set up if you run on a PC. So keep that in mind, Mac owners. The camera resolution, pretty good. It does work real well. I'm a little disappointed that it doesn't work with Macs, but not everything runs with Macs, so that's okay. Just something to keep in mind when you're purchasing it. It's a requirement that you're going to need to use a Mac to set it up on your network. Then this might not be the system for you, but you could probably make do if you can borrow a PC and get it set up. A couple other things on it. The menu response is a little slow. It's a bit cumbersome from time to time to go in and view the video that you want to view. So I think with a little practice you can master that, and it would come in. It would get easier. But as a whole, as far as ease of setup, this is something you can do yourself. You're not going to need to hire an electrician or really have to do any kind of crazy setup. It's something you can do yourself within a couple hours. Really, all you're going to need is an electric drill, and there's no wire cutting. Everything snaps into place, so it's a pretty easy thing to set up. And from that standpoint, for the price point, it's a pretty good deal. So I'm going to give it 4 stars, bordering on 4.5. If the menu was a little bit easier to navigate and it was Mac friendly, it would be a pretty easy 5-star recommendation. But as it is, it's still a pretty solid product and definitely worth consideration.